and it's a $49 fare, it's a loser.
But there's no doubt about it, the cut-rate airfare war is making banner headlines these days. A war that's taking its toll on overworked travel agents and those travelers who don't read the fine print before signing up for the low-cost deals.
That's all for now. Join me at 2:55 for more news and weather.
Q13, the Northwest's own movie channel, KCPQ.
Good afternoon, I'm Marianne McClary. Seattle's Olympic gold medal winner Debbie Armstrong may be a spectator now for the rest of the skiing season. She tore a ligament in her left knee in a crash today during training for a World Cup race in Austria. 22-year-old Armstrong is in a splint and will be out for weeks, maybe even the rest of the season. Researchers say women who undergo athletic training when they're young have a smaller chance of developing breast cancer or cancer of the reproductive organs than other women. A Harvard study found physically active women are thinner and produce less estrogen, a hormone thought to affect female cancers. Barbie doll collectors who sent money to an Atlanta address for old dolls were disappointed with what they got: newspaper, cardboard, or nothing at all. A grand jury has indicted Barbara Hanna on charges of mail fraud. Investigators say she charged up to $800 per order for old Barbie dolls, but never delivered. The final tally for department store sales from the Christmas season isn't as high as the nation's major retailers had hoped. They're reporting only modest gains for December, their most crucial month of the spending season. One analyst says the shorter shopping season this year is one reason for the lack of strength in Christmas sales. Local group makes good could be the headline on February 25th when the Grammy Awards for music are handed out. The band Heart was nominated today for Best Rock Group with a Vocal. Lead singing siblings Ann and Nancy Wilson are from Seattle. We stayed under mostly cloudy skies today. Our high only reached the low 50s. It will be rainy and windy tonight. The temperature will get down to about 40. Tomorrow it would be a good idea to keep hold of your hat because we're going to have gusty winds and lots of rain. We'll be back with a report on toys and libraries. Kids and toys are inseparable, especially when there's a room full of toys for them. Well, what you're about to see is not a toy store. It's a toy lending center in Los Angeles that works just like a library.
They start arriving as soon as school lets out, ready to play. From floor to ceiling, this library is stacked not with books, but with toys. At this and other sites, 50,000 toys await eager children. It's the oldest and largest toy lending service in the world.
We have 32 toy lending centers. We have 115 outreach sites where teachers and doctors borrow toys for help with the children.
See? These are the cards.
Toybrarian Donna Tiddley not only donates her time to the Toy Loan program, she also pays the rent for the storefront library where she works.
I love toys and I love to play with kids, and they get a lot out of it, so it's really fun.
The kids agree the idea of a toy library is a lot of fun.
Since I started coming here, like the second week, I started bringing my friends over here.
Do they like it too?
Yeah. Make friends here and stuff.
Yeah? The toys, which have all been donated and repaired, are checked out a week at a time. The children who follow all the rules earn points and receive honor toys they can keep for their own.
We consider it character building. They learn responsibility, they learn honesty, they learn courtesy, they learn to bring back toys clean, so it involves a great deal. And
Jane Donaldson may be conservative since 27 are suspected. All contraceptives have advantages and disadvantages, risks and benefits. And being sexually active without contraceptives is probably most dangerous of all.
More news and weather at 2:55 after the Big Valley.
Q13, the Northwest's own movie channel, KCPQ.
The State Department says it will only be pushed so far before it decides to use force on Libya. Sanctions have already been imposed. Now Libya says it's considering counter-sanctions against the U.S. Good afternoon, I'm Marianne McClary. Britain announced today it would not go along with Reagan's proposed sanctions against Libya, but Italy has decided to suspend arms sales to that country. State Department spokesman Bernard Kalb says he hopes other nations will follow suit. New York authorities call it the largest seizure of cash ever made from an individual in the U.S. They're referring to more than $5.5 million stuffed into bags and luggage at a rented house where drug agents also found 14 pounds of heroin and 13 pounds of cocaine. 3 men arrested in the siege were thought to be part of a larger international drug ring. The Army says it hopes to identify all of the remains of the 248 soldiers who died in the crash of a chartered plane in Newfoundland last month. An Army spokesman denies there will be a mass burial of bodies that can't be identified. Most of the bodies haven't. Americans have experienced the lowest 3-year inflation rates in the last 20 years. Wholesale prices rose less than 2% last year. Gasoline prices were up 3% in 1985, but analysts expect falling crude oil prices and the OPEC chaos to result in lower gas prices in months to come. The sunny weekend weather we usually hope for probably will not be here, but we might not see any rain either. We are going to have increasing winds, becoming gusty tonight with a chance of showers, the low near 40. Tomorrow the high in the upper 40s and a little chance of rain. Next we'll hear about a Girl Scout that loves to sell cookies. Anyone who's ever been a Girl Scout knows how difficult it is to sell those cookies no matter how good they are. But one girl that thinks selling is easy and has a cookie sales record to prove it says even selling to the president is easy.
You may remember our telling you about 14-year-old Elizabeth Brinton, the Cookie Queen. Last year, she sold a record 11,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies along the streets and supermarkets of suburban Washington. Now, in her 8 years with the organization, she's racked up a total of 36,000 sales, and in this, her last year, she hopes to sell 14,000 more, bringing her career total to 60,000 boxes. And she's off to a good start to kick off this season. Her first sale was to none other than the President of the United States. After leaving the White House, she told reporters how she'd done.
He bought all 7 kinds.
What are they?
Those are the tagalongs, the trefoils, the samoas, the thin mints, the pecans, the do-si-dos, and the chocolate chunk.
And how did the president pay?
Cash.
You notice how Elizabeth seems to like the sound of that word, the sign of a good salesperson. She even got the president to kick in the change from a 20 as a donation. She picked up a jar of presidential jelly beans and sold 7 more boxes to a visiting congressman. About her meeting with the president?
I think he's great. He's my idol, you might say. He's really great. No, he didn't taste one. He'll probably taste him with Nancy alone.
Elizabeth, at 14, holds a uniform full of